So today I'm going to demonstrate the best exercises to build bigger shoulders. So the deltoid muscles are the muscles we think about most when it comes to training our shoulders. Now the deltoids are made up of three heads, which is the anterior head here, then you've got the medial head right here, and the posterior head at the back.
The barbell military press is one of the first two exercises I start with during any push or shoulder workout. Because this is a compound exercise, we can easily apply progressive overload. Therefore, I like to use moderate to heavy weights in the 5 to 8 rep range. This exercise predominantly targets the anterior deltoids through shoulder flexion. However, there is also activation of the upper traps as our scapula rotates upwards. And we also work all three heads of the triceps as we extend our elbows at the top of the movement. I prefer the standing military press over seated because studies show that pressing from a standing position has greater activation on the deltoids than from a seated position. Now we are moving on to dumbbell overhead press. Research shows that dumbbells elicit greater activation on the medial deltoids when compared to barbell military press. This is likely due to dumbbells requiring more stabilization. However, there is less overload potential, so it's best to focus on volume with lower weights.
So the next exercise we're going to do target the medial deltoid, and they both involve shoulder abduction, which is this movement. Now we're going to use both dumbbells and the cables.
Even though dumbbell overhead press has some activation in the medial deltoids, this alone is inadequate to get that 3D looking shoulder development. So lateral raises are my go-to exercise for targeting the medial head. This simply involves shoulder abduction, which is the primary function of the medial deltoids. I like to do both the dumbbell and cable variations because each have unique benefits. The dumbbell lateral raise has the highest muscle activation. However, there is no tension at the bottom of the movement, whereas there is tension throughout the entire movement during the cable lateral raise. Leaning away during this movement further accentuates the medial head.
So now we're going to do a few variations of the face pull, which targets the posterior deltoid here.
The primary function of the rear deltoids is transverse shoulder abduction. An example of this movement is a reverse fly. We also carry out this movement during rows, especially with a wider grip. So we do hit the rear delts somewhat during row movements. However, another key function of the rear delts is external rotation, a movement that many people neglect. Therefore, my favorite exercise for targeting the rear deltoids is the face pull, which combines both key functions. This exercise is great for rotator cuff health, and it may help fix a rounded or hunched back, which is caused by tight chest muscles and weak upper posterior muscles. From the kneeling variation, there's also some involvement of the lower traps. If you would like to further emphasize the rear delts, then perform this exercise from a lying position.
So now we're going to do an exercise that targets the upper traps. I haven't discussed much about the upper traps because some people train with the back, but some people train with shoulders. However, I'm going to give you a demonstration of a great exercise that builds upper traps.
The farmer's walk is one of my favorite exercises. During this movement, the traps and upper back muscles work to prevent our shoulders and chest from caving in. I love how challenging this exercise can be and reaping the additional benefits for functional strength, pulling power and conditioning. Since your entire body has to put in work during this exercise, a lot of calories are expended, making it one of my favorite exercises to do when trying to lean down and lower my body fat.